Chasing Tales, Episode 6, All Together Now.
Welcome to the Hall. Will we find out why Sin doesn't want to go alone? And will Pinky catch Iceland?
The first thing you notice is the darkness. It takes time for your eyes to adjust. The red brick buildings, lined streets, and twisted parodies of trees reach into the dark vortex of the sky. The place smells like a cesspit. The hot wind whips up dust and ash into little tornadoes in the square. Pink comes often enough to know. You never get used to the dry burning in your throat. There would have to be a drink to numb it soon, or she'd damage her voice. Fortunately, they poured it in, close to the Hall of Records. The square is full of people going about their business.
Sin, you gonna be okay in the building?
Nah, we'll call you when we are ready to go home.
Are you sure? I can go inside.
Go. I will wait inside for you to come back.
Pink rolls her eyes and resolves to make it quick. Not like she was welcome here, but there were things she needed. Firstly, a drink. She passes through the portal to Farrell's, a sleazy strip club, but closest to relief. She folds her black cloak, tries to be inconspicuous. She backnods the bartender. He's a hot little number. Horns spurt from his head and spiral away from him, curling around his ears. His black curls peek out of the spiral horns. He smiles, enjoying being looked at so intently. He winks a bright green eye.
Number 6.
She pays in gold. He looks down at the coin and laughs. He throws the pirate sign back in acknowledgement. Pink returns the hand sign.
Is he here?
The demon tilts his head in time to the music to indicate he's in the back. Pink looks from left to right, takes a shot and leaves the glass. She turns away and walks past the stage where an angel is chained to a pole, dancing. She hasn't been there long. Her skin still glows white and smells of baked goods. Pink makes eye contact with her. She looks away in shame but doesn't break rhythm. Pink tips the girl. In return, she gets a little bump of that angelic pleasure as the girl's hair brushes her gently. It's been a while. She thinks about Sin. She knows she shouldn't have left him. The last time he was beat within an inch of his angelic life. It takes a lot to kill an angel, but turns boys love trying. Especially those who don't pick a side, like Sin. He only has to renew his visa once a year, but because he is marked infernal, it's been done before. Pink turns away from the dancer and walks to the crowded space. In the back corner of the room sits Sprex, huddled around a mirror. Red power lined up in sharp, neat lines. She stands at the table until he notices her. His horns rising in the air like a gazelle as he lifts his head.
I thought I smelled fish.
If you want an apology, that's not happening.
Sprex snorts a line and wiggles his nose.
So, why are you here?
I don't just come when I need something, you know.
He snorts a little, grabs her by the throat, and smiles in her face.
You come when I tell you to.
Her face softens into a smirk, all too familiar with his ways. He lets her go and laughs to himself.
That didn't work out so well for either of us last time, did it?
She reaches up and brushes a long scar she left him. It runs from temple to throat, still bright pink instead of dark red like the rest of his face. He pulls his head away from her and strokes his beard.
You're boring me. Out with it.
He bends down and does another, and rubs his nose and looks at her expectantly.
I'm looking for some containment ink.
I could get you some. But it'll be a few days. And you'll be dead in a few days from what I hear.
Pink examines him carefully to see if he's joking. He grabs her hand and pulls it into the circle of light. He points a very sharp claw into her palm.
See, it stops here. If I know my threats, you'll be dead soon.
His claw draws a bead of blood. He licks her palm, never breaking eye contact.
Just the body. I can get a new one.
So is that what you really need? Is a fetus set up?
Maybe. You know the day and stuff, right?
You don't want to know the details.
No. I've already had a near-death experience this week, and I owe Thane credits.
This was not good news, but his premonition was always good. In all her 100 years of service to the orders, she'd only changed bodies once. Would she be ready in a few days to start over?
So containment ink really will be needed sooner rather than later. I need to talk to the boys and see what they can do for me. In the meantime, got any thunderfuck on ya?
This is what I hoped you came for. You got what I want.
She drops a leather pouch onto the table. He weighs it in his hand and then nods. He drops a jar onto the table full of black and gray buds with lightning hairs arcing from her hand to the other side of the jar.
It's a business doing pleasure with you.
Well, I better find time to smoke it soon, thanks.
Pink stands up and walks out with her contraband. A fight between dancers has broken out and the crowd is rowdy, cheering them on. The bouncer's taking bets on the action. Pinky walks out disinterested. She sits on the bench out front of Blood Fountain and waits. The fountain is a huge black marble dragon that dominates the view. Blood, some chunky from the sound, pours into his mouth. Aislinn and Ressa lay in bed, languid with pleasure. She gets on her feet and pulls his hand.
Come on, baby. I'm hungry.
I'm not ready yet. This is my last time. Don't let it end so soon.
It doesn't have to end, you know. You could... Never mind. You'd never do that.
Never do what?
Switch teams. Help us take out an agent.
He looks up at her face.
I can't rest. They'll take my wings for that.
I'm not asking you to pull the trigger. Just fail to be there. Surely that offense won't be enough. Shooting Pink might be, but not negligence. You've already risked her life with no punishment. What makes you think they'll do anything?
The agent you want to get rid of is Pink?
Yeah, so? Aren't you tired of constantly working? You don't have any time for yourself. For us.
Look, I'm there to do a job I'm good at. What would I do if I lived here with you?
I can think of a few things.
She kisses him, persuasively.
I'm sorry. I can't do it.
That's all right. I'll find a way. Can we eat now?
Aislinn shakes his head and goes along. She warps them to the town of Kebab. Pink notices Aislinn with Ressa, but hunkers down in her cape to keep from being seen. Just as they pass, the crystal vibrates. Off to the side, Pink notices a couple of turns boys waiting with weapons.
Oh, shit.
Pink has to go get him, now. A fight will blow her cover. She slides around the fountain out of sight to get Sin so they can pour it out unseen. It wasn't that Pink wasn't often here. It was that Aislinn isn't supposed to be here at all, and with Rissa of all people. She didn't want him to know that she knew. Yet. Sin pops a portal, and they disappear. Back in the bakery, Pink has a lot to process. First, the precog on her body death, then Aislinn being irresponsible.
Thanks for going with. Did you get what you were looking for?
Sin, honey, I got a whole lot more. Now I have to get some intel, find another angel, set up a new body, fill out the paperwork. I also need to wrap up my body's business. Damn. Who am I gonna leave the club to? In the meantime, I have an idea. I've ordered some containment ink from the Blackhearts. Hopefully it will be here in time. You and Otto work on a tattoo that retains my consciousness of everything pre-birth. I don't have time for an awakening moment. I'll have to get back to work ASAP.
I'll go see Otto. You seem stressed. Will cake help?
Cake always helps.
Sin puts some slices in a box.
Put one of those bacon carrot cake ones in too this time. I do love carrot spice season.
Sin smiles, glad to be back, where he wanted to be most. He's worried about his friend, though. He put an extra chocolate in, too, just because. She takes the box and he ports her home. Will's mom recovers quickly and is soon in the little house on Park Street. Will is starting to get into the groove of life in the new town. He stands in front of the long mirror trying to tie his tie. Kate comes and does it for him. It's nice to see her on her feet again. He hugs her tightly. She is dressed in her nicest dress. They're off to church. She's proud, being in the pew with her son. She feared they were done for, but it seems God turned everything around for him. Pink and Aislinn slip in and sit in the back row. Pink nervously spins her anti-magic ring, her mind swirling with thoughts. She wasn't really paying attention. Aislinn sits arrow straight, focused on the sermon.
Brothers and sisters of the congregation, let me tell you the story of Elijah and Elisha. You see, Elijah was a big prophet of God. When he spoke God's word, it happened. He was God's number one guy. But soon God would call Elijah home. Now Elisha wanted to be the next prophet. So he asked God for this privilege, but he was humble. He only asked for 1/10 of Elijah's power. And God said unto him, I will test you. Doesn't it always come down to a test, brothers and sisters?
What are you gonna do when I'm gone?
I don't know. Not like I won't be assigned someplace else.
What a cold answer, Pink thought. Maybe she had been too demanding. Maybe Metatron was wrong about him. Maybe he just couldn't hack it. Did he come into duty soon after he died? Was he really Order's material? Sure, Pink knew she did selfish things sometimes, but generally she knew her place. She wasn't sure that Aislinn did. Clearly his will was strong, but the breaking he'd get in hell made Metatron's way look like a picnic. Whatever the case, she needed a backup plan. A few rows up, Kate and Will sat proudly next to each other. He squeezed her hand comfortingly as they listened to the sermon.
Now, I ask you, brothers and sisters, how was Elijah taken into heaven?
A chariot of fire.
No. No, he was not. You were fooled like many others. While all eyes were on this chariot of fire, Elijah was taken up in a whirlwind. That's 2 Kings, 2nd chapter, 11th verse. Good God. Oh, now, don't feel bad. Everybody was fooled except for Elisha. He kept his eyes on the prize. And that, brothers and sisters, is what you must do. Shoe horse, shoe chariot. I'm keeping to God's word no matter what the world says. Don't let fleshy temptations get between you and God. Now pass along the collection plate, and remember, God is watching us, so we should be watching for him. Now go, brothers and sisters, and be of great joy.
The sermon ended and the band played them out the door. Chatter and hugging filled the foyer. Pink, Will, Kate, and Aislinn stood together at the front door.
How are you settling in, Will? You getting into the rhythm?
Yes, ma'am. The guys are swell.
Good, good. They're not working you too hard, are they?
No. Like I said, it's been like a dream. I feel like I should wake up soon.
Pink smiles and looks heavenward, happy things turned out the way they did.
I'm glad to see you up and about, Miss Kate.
Thank you for everything. I really appreciate everything you've done for me and my boy, sweetheart. I really do.
You were very welcome. It was my pleasure. Come on, Aislinn, off to work.
Pink pulls Aislinn away from the others and walks to a car. Tex is inside.
Tex, why didn't you come in?
It was late. Get in, let's talk.
Pink looked around for Aislinn, who took his opportunity and vanished. She got in the car, and the driver pulled into traffic.
Where are you headed?
The club. I have to meet Jack, but we've got a little time. I'd be surprised if he was even up. What brings you to me?
Only everything.
Pink smiles, delighted with the answer, and pushes him playfully.
Seriously.
I've got a job coming up. I wanted you along for it.
What is it?
The bosses have sent out word they're looking for a book. A book of fire. Ring any bells?
Oh, that's Enochian. Probably a few 100 years old. So you found it then?
Yeah, crazy as this sounds, it's in a storeroom in an office building collecting dust.
But why would the feds want it, I wonder? It's just a regular magic book.
You know, anything they can weaponize.
She nods.
So when do you need me?
For the job, not for a few days. But I don't have anywhere to be till then, and I'd like to spend it with you, if you have time.
I have some things to wrap up, but I can give you a couple of days for sure. Will that be okay?
Anything. It's not like we'll never see each other again, right?
She gets out of the car.
You never know, Shug. You never know.
When should I come get you? Or do you need to meet me someplace?
It's 1 now. I'll be about an hour here. Then I have another thing to do. Can I meet you for dinner?
My place in Corleone's.
Sounds great. Bye, Dexter. Be safe. Take care of my man.
Pink pats the car and then drives away. Aislinn wandered in an aimless circle in the square, trying to sort out his thoughts. On one hand, duty was more important than his own desire, but damn, that woman. She seemed to know everything and nothing. Why wouldn't she say anything? Why insist on a church visit? Aislinn bumps into Sin.
Aislinn, where is Pink?
Taking care of something. I just checked on her. She's safe for now.
You seem nervous, my friend. What is on your mind?
I have a bad habit. I want to go on having this bad habit, but it's interfering with work. And now said bad habit is asking for something I can't agree to.
I was in this place once. Have you spoken to Pink? I know you work for her, but she can help you know what to do. Don't throw away a privilege for nothing in return.
Aislinn played with a loose feather, and it came off in his hands and turned black. It's not far to fall, but the price.
This habit of yours, does she have a name?
Ressa.
I know this name. She's the reason I must take Pink with me to review my visa. It was she who distracted me when my friends were ambushed. She does it and can never love you. You know this, da?
He knew. He dared to hope that he could change her. Really, thinking about it now, he could see how impossible that would be. What was he searching for in Rissa? What need was she really going to fill long term? Would he be okay with watching her with other men, demons, and angels? How could he have gotten this far? She was out to destroy him and Pink. That's all she wanted. It didn't hurt less knowing the truth. He had to do the right thing. Keep his eye on what mattered. Sim handed him a packet. Inside was a little charm, a cross to wear around his neck.
I was going to give this to Pink, but I think you need it more now. It will help with clarity.
He put it on, and he felt the relentless fog of her magic fade from his mind. He knew what to do. He shook hands with Sin, and they parted ways. Aislinn poured it to Pink at the club just as she was wrapping up her business.
Did you make up your mind what you'll do, Aislinn?
She asked casually.
Yeah, I think so.
I can rely on you, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
They ported to her apartment in Cloud City. She tidies up a bit, putting the handcuffs and a little trophy next to some other random-looking items.
Why do you keep those trophies?
To remind me that everything I do costs something.
She ties a little tag on the handcuffs and walks away. Aislinn reads it. Manny and Bruce, thugs, 1945, killed by magic. Another tag reads, 1837, Ramiel, angel, died by betrayal. It was tied to a blackened feather. Inside his pocket, Aislinn gripped the feather that matched it, aware of its significance. Pink gives him a sly little glance and touches him reassuringly.
Rami was tricked by Ressa. He was the reason I had to switch bodies last time. Her tactics don't change much. She's easy to believe when she floods your head with promises. They stripped him of his wings. He's human now. Only forgiveness can save him.
How do you...
I saw you in hell today.
He hangs his head. It's worse somehow than Metatron knowing by reading his mind. Pink looked at him with a mix of sympathy and disappointment.
Well, that's all over now. I've chosen the side.
Well, glad to have you. Just remember, she's slick and you're new. I would have thought a year together would have taught you what you needed to know. I've seen a soul shatter. Put one back together. It's hard and it's heartbreaking. Ace, please be careful and keep your head. I'm going to the office to see Lachesis. You coming?
Yeah.
Now that Aislinn is sure of himself, can they stop the prediction? Will fate be able to help them? Stay tuned for the next exciting episode of Chasing Tales, The Price We Pay. We return and find ourselves in hell, surrounded by the warm scent of salmon and marijuana. Oh yeah, I like this.
He's a hot little number. Why am I saying this?
Okay, check it out. 2 men broke into a drugstore and stole all the Viagra. The police put out an alert to be on the lookout for 2 hardened criminals.
But, shit, redo that one. I know this name. She's the reason I must take... Damn it. Like, you must skip one, doesn't it? Yet. Okay, we try again. I know this name.
Yeah, mama. It's closing. Ugh.
Okay, Pinky, this one line is driving me up the fucking wall, so hopefully that's good enough for you. If not, I will gladly fix it, because I love you. Other than that, I hope it's enough. Less than 3.
And bells purring into the microphone.
A water bottle. It's either a water bottle or a banana.
Tail Chasing, episode 6, with the goddamn Texan who needs the old man anyway.
I'd rather do the duel with Ressa. Yeah, fuck that up.